Hi, Facebook and YouTube. Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Hello, Instagram. This is Carmen. Let me put on a quick lippy a little bit here. Yeah. So, welcome to Love Power Wednesday, where I share about love power principles around you showing up in personal leadership, your spiritual obedience, your wealth mindset, your energy management, and resilience, and how to show up in that. Hey, hey. So the topic tonight for Love Power Wednesday, I just want to hop right in, is growth is worth the work. If you follow me on Facebook, I posted about an experience I had yesterday where my car did all the things. And so anyway, I had to get it towed. And, if I choose to get it fixed, it's probably going to be quite expensive. I'm probably not going to, just because of the miles I have on my car. I'm one of those girls that, yeah, we're going to ride a car all the way out. All the way out, because your girl does not like a car note. So I paid my car off several years ago, and it's just been amazing not having a car note. And anyway, that being said, there was a time, probably about 5 years ago, where that would have shooketh me. I would have been just in a downward spiral of like negative thinking of like, why did this happen? And I was supposed to go to a training today, but I didn't have a car, so I couldn't do that. And like, it would have been all of these things and negative things. And it's funny because sometimes when you're growing and when you're doing your work and you are moving forward, it's these incremental steps that happen. And you don't even realize how far you've come until you're in a situation and you're like, what? I just handled that well. I did that better than I have ever done before. Or, there may be a situation where you didn't pop off like you thought you were going to pop off. Or even in your finances, maybe, like, okay, I didn't get flustered when this happened. Maybe there was a bill that showed, an unexpected bill showed up. And at one point, it would just take you out. A relationship could have ended, a friendship, somebody could have said something and betrayed you, and there would have been a time where you would have just felt like rejection and abandonment and all these things, these triggers. It would have bumped up against these wounds, these old wounds that you may have not fully allowed to heal, right? But sometimes you realize, like, oh, I'm in that situation, and there was a time where you would have not handled it well. And so that was me yesterday, and I was kind of at the end of my day, and I was coming to get on another call with some my coaching group that I am a part of, and I was like, oh, I'm good. Like, oh, I didn't realize how I had like grown. And because people were like, you okay? And I was like, yeah, actually, yeah, I am. And so the work that goes into growth, a lot of, we hear that, we throw that around like, do your work, do your work. The work really is you paying attention. Well, first of all, the work is acknowledging where your life is not where it needs to be, where you're not seeing results in your life, where you're not experiencing fulfillment in your life, where you're not experiencing joy and abundance in your life, recognizing that, and then saying, what's the gap, right? And so the growth happens in the gap. It is between where you are and where you want to be. And so often we're looking to acquire the things, but the things usually don't come unless we become. That was pretty good. Let me say that again. The things don't usually come until we become. And what I mean by that is there are desires and dreams and wishes, if you will, even that you have for your life, and goals that you have for your life, that they won't be achieved until you grow into them. You got to grow into them. They don't just come, because there's character that has to happen with some of those things. There's expectations that God has of us. And it's like, I'm just not going to hand this to you for you to squander it, for you to ultimately mess up your life. My dad talks about, those who don't know, he's very open about his past and substance use history. And, he talks about, if he had gotten $1 million when, he was in the midst of his addiction, he would have killed himself. He would have killed himself. Now, I think he handled it very well and do a great job with it. But like some things we're asking God for, we're not ready for because the growth hasn't happened. We got to grow into it. I think about when, when you see little kids and they're like, oh, she got to grow in, she'll grow into the shoes. They buy the shoes bigger than the real size because of how fast kids' feet grow, right? And it's like, well, she'll grow into them. She'll grow into the clothes, or he'll grow into those clothes. So you buy them a little bit bigger. So it's the same thing. Like you're dreaming big dreams so you can grow into them. Like there wouldn't be a goal if you could achieve it right now as you were, because you'd already have it. And some of it too is God is building our character. There are things we have to experience along the journey and process so that we can handle the weight of the call, whatever your call is. Some of you are called to work with young people and be a coach. You got to have like young people, youth, they see through BS. They see through the fake. They see through, like, you got to be real, transparent, open. You got to have a thick skin. Your heart needs to be open and pure because they'll say stuff that could trigger you. And so if you're not open-hearted and healed, you could end up, saying something back. And, right now, I think the big thing now is the substitute teacher fighting in the classroom, all that craziness, right? Wherever you stand on that, it is what it is. But my point is there are things that you are asking and seeking God for, but you got to grow into it. That's probably what I should have named this, right? But really, growth is worth the work. And we don't want to do the work a lot of times because the work requires us looking in the mirror. It requires going into sometimes the dark places. It requires us pulling up stuff, sometimes even pulling up or breaking or opening up and exposing wounds that we thought had healed but had not. When you look at, in the medical field, sometimes things heal incorrectly and they have to go back in and re-break a bone because it didn't heal together correctly, or they got to go back in and open up the wound because the infection started back. They thought they had gotten it all out and it started back. The cancer, they thought they had gotten it back, all out, and it came back. And so oftentimes that's what the work is. It's recognizing that stuff keep getting kicked up. I thought I had dealt with it, and there's layers, right? A friend of mine was saying last night, there's levels and layers to this work. And it really is levels and layers to this work. But it's so worth it. Just the small, like my ability to shift my mindset to gratitude, which is a practice that I have now. Like, where can I find the good in something? Where can I be grateful even in situations that don't appear? Because God has set up this world up. There's science to it. There's no I forget the actual law, the physics of it, but it's like there's the equal and opposite reaction, right? And so also there's never one side to anything. There's never a one-sided coin. There's never a one. I mean, like this piece of paper that I have right here. Let me open it all the way up, right? This paper that I have right here, which actually happens to be for my alumni weekend, my alma mater, my high school alumni weekend I went to this weekend for my Sunday worship service. But this piece of paper, as thin as this piece of paper is, there's always another side. There's two sides to everything. And so when you're in a situation, thinking through what's the other side, where can I find gratitude in this moment? That happened for me because of growth. I was not always the person that looked for the best in a situation. Was not. But it was growth because I've been doing a lot of gratitude work. And so I don't know what your thing is that God is pressing upon you to grow in. It may be gratitude, right? Can you be grateful in situations that even may not go in your way? It may be your mindset around abundance. Maybe you have a scarcity mindset, thinking that, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Thinking that, waiting on the other shoe to drop because life just can't be this good. I'm waiting on, that's something you need to do the work around that so that you can expect great things. So you can be looking forward to, yes, there's another side to it, but even in the midst of that, you can still be looking for greatness. Um, it may be for some of you just always feeling like if somebody says something or questions you, you feel rejection and abandonment and all these other issues come up. That's work to be done. Pay attention, because I promise you, your growth is worth the work. Matter of fact, if you take the G off, work and growth, and the worth is in growth. The word worth is a part of growth. And so it's worth it, y'all. It is really worth it. It's worth it for you. It's worth it for the people that are around you, especially if you're a leader and you have teams. You do not want to like vomit your mess on people and spew your crap on people that you lead, and we've all had managers who've been amazing, bosses who've been amazing, and then those who've been horrible, who, they got their own stuff and they haven't dealt with it. And so they spew it out on all the people that work for them and their teams. And so don't let that be you. Do the work for the growth. Do the work, because I promise you it's worth it. Now, for those of you, in particular women, who are wanting to do that work, go deeper. I have more information, but just want to go ahead and reach out to me. I'll be launching, and there'll be more information coming out next week. But I have a 12-week coaching program that really supports you. It's a container, an incubator, cocoon that really supports you in growth, so that after that 12 weeks, that 90 days, you've experienced transformation in an area of your life where you have gotten connected in your faith, because that's a primary tenet of what the work I do. Because if you can't see yourself the way God sees you, the growth is going to be hard. The work is going to be hard. So you get connected in your faith so you can see yourself as God sees you. So you can also then be authentic. A lot of us, myself at one point, was living the life for other people. Like I was living the life that I thought that I was supposed to live by other people's standards and measures, not what I knew God had for me, not what I wanted, not what my desires were that were in alignment with what God had for me. But other people had other opinions. Like, you should do this, and this is what you should do. And, oh, you're talented at this, you should do this. This coaching program helps you cut through all those voices, so you can hear the voice of God, so you can get clear about who you are authentically, and know yourself intently. And then ultimately, so you can create this life where you experience fulfillment. It's a life fulfilled. That is the name of my company. And it is really what I desire, what God, one of the things that God has put in place on me for us to, as believers, live our, we have this, we believe God for eternal life, but we're not able to believe him for everyday life. We're not experiencing it. We don't have to wait to the hereafter for glory. We don't have to wait to the hereafter for our abundance and the things that God has for us. And so I want to help us experience life now fully, to the full. And your growth is worth the work. And so if that piqued your interest in any way, please reach out. I'm only taking, for this first cohort, I'm only taking 10 women through this process. And so if you feel like, oh, that might be something I'm interested in, you want to learn more, I would love to hop on a call with you for us to talk more about where you are and where you want to be. Because as I said earlier, the growth happens so that you can fill the gap. So there's a gap. Here you are, and here's where you want to be. There's a gap. So in order to fill that gap, it's going to take growth. Before you can get what you want, you got to become who you need to be. And this program, so excited, is designed for you to do that. It is years and years of work, coaching with other people, I pulled it, all my stuff, pulled it together, trying not to piecemeal, here's a class here, here's a class here, really for those that are ready for that next level, to, like, you're tired of dreaming about the life that God has for you, and you're ready to walk in it. You're ready to do the work to get to it. And I would be honored to be your coach and support you in that journey. So thank you all for joining LovePower Wednesdays. I try to keep these to 30 minutes or less, and tonight is definitely or less. And with that, I want to say thank you again. Reach out if you're interested in the coaching program. Only taking 10 women right now. And we're going to kick off at the end of May, kicking off at the end of May with this program. And I look forward to serving you and serving you well. With that, good night, be blessed, and walk in your the full expression of God in your life. Amen. Good night. Bye. Good night. Bye.